Spike apparently is interested in seeing what's going on out here, and looked like she was interested in coming out to have a look. This is very unusual for Spike, because Spike's another one of my homebodies and doesn't normally like to travel, so to speak. Now I'm about 6 inches away from Spike, because Spike is a known character of striking ability, and I sort of give her a wide margin. I just recently read a paper on Cerastes on a few bites and treatments and stuff, and normally Cerastes, you know, people consider it not to be a life-threatening snake or bite. Well, there were 2 cases recorded where Cerastes, and not even a gigantic one like this, proved to inflict bites bad enough to cause renal failure. And normally, if renal failure occurs, it's usually due to, you know, blood breakdown products and the addition of antivenin and such. You know, all that horse serum going through the kidneys wreaks havoc with it. But actually, they believe now that there's a factor in she's lining up for a strike. That's what she's doing. Cerastes cam. Ooh, Spike. Look at that. That's a nice view of Spike. Spike's being friendly tonight, but that could change at any time now. Now, as I was saying, there seems to be a component in Cerastes venom that causes the kidneys to fail due to damaging the membranes and the tubules that do all the filtering. After a few days, even after antivenin, the kidneys came back online, and that was after, you know, the dissipation of the nasty factors that were in the venom, and the use of a specific anti-sera. Well, I've had Spike for a long time, and that's the first encounter of at least a friendly kind that I've had with her. No, you know, she's not, you know, foul like some of the other creatures. She's just got this really, really strong feeding response that you know, she exhibits actually quite often. She'll whack the cage glass as I go walking by, and it's not, you know, that, hey, I'm gonna kill you because I don't like you. It's like, hey, I'm here, feed me, I want more food. And believe me, she didn't get the gigantic proportions like that because I didn't feed her. But, you know, I've cut her back some, you know, to every 2 weeks, you know, just because I don't want, you know, any excess weight problems. And, you know, she's just hanging out and not using all that, that energy. So let's see if Spike wants to come out and have a roam. Well, I tried to nicely and gently hook Spike to come out, but she didn't make a fuss, but she definitely indicated by retreating back into the cage she was not interested in coming out for a stroll. You know, as I said in the very beginning, she's a homebody, and you know, that's her domain, and she's okay with that. But you know, she just seems a little restless, so I figured I would offer her a little bit of furlough. At any rate, that, unless Spike does something interesting, well, that's all of our little vignette on Miss Spike. Well, once again, I'd like to highlight my dirty floor here. I coaxed Spike out for a wander, and you can see her marvelous sidewinding mechanism. Over here on the dark side of the moon, I haven't had time to fix the overhead light, so it's a little darker over here. But there's Spike looking like she's trying to figure out what's going on, and she doesn't get out much. Only because I think when she was smaller, she would sidewind like hell, and she'd be really zooming across the floor here, and she was always much more difficult to catch up with. But now that she's older and a lot more mellow, she's I think gonna enjoy her little furlough here. See this sign? Well, this is why it's there. And since I'm not the only one up in here working, my friend Bob comes up here and watches the kids, so to speak, if I happen to go out of town for some reason. So she hadn't done this before, and Bob left me a little message here to let me know that when I entered the cage, that if I didn't count 3 heads before I opened it, that was a possible spot where the female Echis coloratus, that's the Arabian saw scale, Israeli saw scale, you know, North Africa, Middle East, sort of hides out. And you can tell by that very, very wide pupil that she's agitated and sort of is a little upset that I disturbed her fun. Saw scales just do not hesitate in biting. She's not as bad as the males, but she'll come after you too. Back to our regularly scheduled program. You can see here that that Miss Spike is really just sort of living it up, enjoying the foliage, and really not doing a whole hell of a lot with her furlough. So we'll get back to her if she does something interesting, but meanwhile she's just enjoying herself. Just a little time out of the cage sort of thing. So fortunately I'm the only one in here, and I will be working on the other side of the room, and I will be keeping tabs on her whereabouts, so we don't have any misunderstandings. Here we go. We have Spike making progress, checking out my foot. I do not think I'm in any danger, as long as I don't step on her. Like I said, she's not prone to aggressive acts. You know, I would never let one of the puff adders even remotely this close to any part of my body. But she's just cruising around and checking everything out. You know, she does these little tiny tongue flicks, not the gigantic ones that the gaboons do. Let's see what's going on here. Going back the other way now, huh? So the important thing is to, in my opinion, of course, anything that I say on these videos is my opinion and not necessarily other people's opinions, but there's a time to react and there's time not to react. I think what happens is if you overreact in certain situations, you put yourself at a greater risk of bite than sort of underreacting and letting the situation sort of pass and or diffusing it in some other manner. Could she have bit my foot? Absolutely. Did I think she would? No. There's probably a 1% chance that I think that something like that would happen. You know, if I pick her up, she would probably bite me. If I step on her, absolutely she would defend herself. You know, if I stand still and become part of the background and substrate, I don't think so. You know, it's not something I would do with a pit viper, because pit vipers, if they get a heat signature, that's like, you know, yellow alert for them, and they might react very suddenly. But you know, just standing there and letting her taste my toes, so to speak, and she just moved away on her own. Yeah, low risk. Certainly I was at a greater risk today driving around the city. And so ends Spike's furlough.